At the height of the Second World War, the No. 11 Royal Ordnance Factory was opened off Corporation Road in Newport. Its workforce was predominantly women. 65 years later, in 2005, some of the men and women who worked there were reunited.
In this machine shop, we are making guns for tanks. There are three main...
The Newport Royal Ordnance Factory, ROF, was immortalised in the 1942 Paul Rother film for the Ministry of Information to encourage women to work in wartime factories.
I went in at the very beginning. I was 20 years old, and I worked on a very large, noisy machine called a lathe. And I turned Boffer and 2-pounder gun barrels.
When day shift is over, our machines are inspected and overhauled, ready for the night shift.
It seems funny at first, turning night into day, but you soon get used to it. You feel you're really pulling your weight because you're working while other people are asleep in bed. Nearly 2,000 of us girls work in this factory. Some of us come from the town, but quite a lot come in from villages 10 or 15 miles away. We work a 10-hour shift, 2 weeks on nights, 2 weeks on days.
When photographs of the factory were put on display at Newport Museum and Art Gallery, many former ROF employees came forward to reveal fascinating insights into their lives at that time.
They were wonderful days, really lovely.
What did you do and why did you like it?
I was on the breech mech, making the breech mech for the attack guns. Yeah, screw cutting and, on the lathe. It was lovely. And very often, the steel would come out like curls, like a sea, and as you go down, you'd be like this, dropping it all, and on your feet, it would drop, because you used to stand in the oil, in the sump in the oil, and windy. And this one day, my setup was the chuck on the thing, and he didn't tighten it up, and all of a sudden it shot up in the air, and it went right down the very end of the factory and dapped in the floor and made a big crater in the stone floor. Lucky no one was killed.
So was it hard, dangerous work?
Well, it could be. It could be a little bit dangerous, like burny wise, but no. I mean, there were more dangerous jobs than that, really. Like one girl, I remember she had her hair all caught in and ripped her hair off. I think that was on the milling machine. But you saw the odd accident, but not an awful lot,
To celebrate their contribution to the war effort, the Mayor of Newport, Councillor Ken Critchley and his wife Sue, invited those that had shared their memories to a reunion on the 22nd of September 2005, exactly 60 years after the factory had had its closing down party at the end of the war.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, please, to the Mansion House. It's my very great pleasure to do this and welcome you here. And in a way, it sort of brings back to me many things in my life seem to encapsulate and sort of start around the war, but quite clearly I was just a war baby and I missed much of that which you experienced. What you have here is something that's very important, very valuable, because what you went through, and I can talk about the factory, the ordnance factory, and I can talk about the detail, the shifts that you worked, and I can talk about the struggles that you went through, but you've got to realise that I'm talking to mainly ladies in a man's society, as it was then. The men had gone to war, and you were left and got on with that job. And it's a magnificent achievement.
What are you trying to do? Win the war on your own?
Get out.
You need a man about the place.
We don't.
The war was on, and our boyfriends and husbands were in the forces, so we had to do our bit, didn't we? We didn't mind. I can't ever remember hearing anyone complaining. We had to do it, and that was it.
My gratitude really extends to Roger Cooksey and staff for bringing this moment to fruition, because when I first met Roger recently and I was looking at records, that there were accolades from Russia where they were complimenting the factory on their performance, in not only the way it was set up, but the full performance in terms of production and the quality of the work that was turned out. That is a fantastic achievement. When people talk about war, they either glorify it and they talk about the actions that have been taken by men and women at the front. And sometimes they talk about the destitution and the damage. But the reality is that you got on with your lives and you produced a performance that enabled it to happen, to bring about that victory. So I have nothing but admiration for the way that you did your job. I'm really pleased to be able to offer you the Mansion House just as a means of a reunion and having a laugh together, if you will, but not to forget your friends, some of whom have gone on. But it is with admiration and, if you like, a great dealing of humility that I do thank you for everything that you've done.
Blondie's been on there 6 months now, and she's as good as any man at her job. On each pair of machines, we work in teams of 4, 2 on nights and 2 on days. At the end of the week, our earnings are pooled and shared out among the 4 of us.
The row when you went in there, it was terrific, really. You know, the noise of course, all the lathes going and the engines and everything was on. But it was, well, for somebody going in there, because we were only kids, of course, going in the beginning, but I enjoyed it in a way. I enjoyed the company of the girls, because it was nearly all girls. There were 1 or 2 overseers, you know, the men. But apart from that, it wasn't too bad.
We were outnumbered with women. They were everywhere, like ants in the bloody ant pile. I mean, they were in the cranes, they were slinging the bloody forgings, they were just about everywhere, working on the machines. And wherever you turned, there was women, like, you know. But I can honestly say that it was one of the most marvellous experiences that a young boy could have, because you could talk to these, and because I was 16 and these were all of an age, they treated me like a brother, like, or not. I wasn't going to be a bloody boyfriend or anything like that. I was only a bloody apprentice, you see. But these ladies were marvellous. They were marvellous to me, and I've always remembered that, you know. I used to... a lot of them were so old. On the section I worked, the case striker section, that some of them were as old as my mother.
We had a chap, he was a setter, little tiny short man, a setter on the machine. And this girl, she was married and her husband was away in the forces, and she was fratting with our setter. So what did we do? But we got him on the floor and we shaved all one side of his moustache off.
Teach him a lesson?
Yeah, we did. That was really funny, that one.
There's a new girl in this section tonight. She'll be a bit strange at first, but she'll soon feel at home.
The factory men, I suppose they'd be called floor managers or whatever, if a new girl came in, they'd send her to the store and to ask for a left-handed spanner and things like that, you know, all silly things like that. But yes, I don't ever remember all the time I was there hearing a misword. We all got on very, very well.
I worked in the personnel office, so I saw people, you know, coming in, interviewed them, looked after them, had them medicated and all sorts of things.
What was the atmosphere like there?
Oh, wonderful. We were just one big family. One big not always happy. You know, there was a lot of sadness too. Lots of people with their family losses. And it helped to share it. You know, we shared all kinds of things.
You had a lot of fun as well by the sound of it. There's a lot of girls there, weren't there? Young girls?
Well, mainly women, of course, very few men. Very few, sadly, for the girls.
So when do you want?
But still, we had dances every fortnight, and we invited all the local forces. You know, the balloon barrage unit, I remember, and an American unit from Caerleon and things like that. Yes. Oh, we did very well.
You walked into a huge shed. I'm not sure. I think there were about 6 long bays. It was grey. It was noisy. The people were good. You know, I mean, there are quite a lot of nice people, which made it okay.
1 more hour and it'll be dinner time. Dinner in the middle of the night.
Well, part of the film, I think part of that, yes it was. It was filmed in the canteen, part of it. So we used to go over there. That was our main meal. And then everybody would relax, sit back and have a cigarette and all the rest of it, and have a sing-song, you know. But it wasn't too bad.
Fred Bayliss put on a review twice a year, and the one review that I was in that I remember best was called All at Sea, and we did a programme of all the different places. We did Paris, so we did the Can-Can, we did the Hula Hula for Hawaii, and we did the Lambeth Walk for London, and you know, all the different places like that. And of course it was singing and dancing, yes, soubrette, yes.
So how old were you?
19. Young and beautiful, I don't think.
I remember some of the concerts that we had, and some of the people with talent were asked to entertain in the breaks. And what I remember, and what I would love to know, is what happened to Agnes Radford. Because whenever I hear the blues, the birth of the blues especially, the song The Birth of the Blues, being sang by anyone, I'm right back in that factory in the middle of the night with Agnes in her dungarees, hair tied up, standing on the stage, singing Birth of the Blues.
Some of these days you're gonna miss me, Harney. Some of these days you're gonna be so lonely. You'll miss my Harney. You're gonna miss my kisses. You'll miss me, Harney, when I'm far away. You'll be so lonely, just for me only. 'Cause you know, Harney, you always had your way. And when you leave me, you know it's going to grieve me. You're going to miss your big fat mama, yes, your red hot mama, some of these days. These days, you're going to be so lonely. Some of these days, you're going to be so lonely.
That hour's break works wonders. Again we get cracking. Blondie will beat her own record tonight if she's not careful.
Many of the women who worked on the machines became incredibly skillful at what they did. But it was Ruby Loftus, seen here on the right of the screen with her two sisters, that was to become a wartime icon.
Ruby did a very exacting job on her machine. She worked on what they call a medium heavy duty short bed lathe, right? And she screw cut the breech rings. She fully machined the inside of the breech ring of the 2-pounder gun and then screw cut it and undercut it. Now, if you could have seen this actual finished job, you wouldn't have believed that this little girl could perform in such a marvellous bloody way, because it's almost like if it was chrome-plated, it's very good.
Ruby's work became an enduring wartime image thanks to the work of official war artist Dame Laura Knight, seen here holding Ruby's arm. She picked Ruby out in 1943 as her model worker. The picture, called Ruby Loftus screwing a beech ring, was voted the most popular in the prestigious Royal Academy Summer Show of that year. Soon after, the Minister of Labour, Ernest Bevin, was one of a number of VIPs to visit Ruby and the factory.
I think she would have rather not all this happen. Do you follow what I mean? But she went along with the flow, as they say, and in time she returned back to her machine as if nothing happened. I was in London one day, passing through, and I had a few hours to spare, so I went to the Imperial War Museum. So I wandered in, and there was a few guns here and one thing, and then a few pictures on the wall. And I turned the corner, and there was the original Dame Laura Knight painting. It was quite an experience, really, that it had come all that way, and is on permanent show now in London.
The man on the right of the picture is the superintendent of Newport ROF, Alexander Galbraith, who supervised the building of the factory in 1941 and then managed it. This is a sketch of him by Dame Laura. As a boy, his son Douglas was a regular visitor to the factory.
This really should be written as history of Wales. It is an enormous war effort they made. It's like every second was precious. I found tomorrow you may be dead, and you have an enthusiasm for your friend and friendships you can't get in peacetime.
Towards 4 in the morning you begin to get a bit fagged.
You tired, kid?
The tea will be along soon.
You got through quickly, just in time for tea.
And can we do with it?
Somebody came up to me and said, "Oh, you're very smell," straight away, and we remembered certain things that happened in different ways,
I've just met two ladies who were on my section, and I recognised them straight away. It was uncanny, really. I never thought I would, but I recognised them.
Here you are, kid. This'll back you up.
Mind it doesn't go off.
I'd rather be firing them than making them any day.
But while we can't be firing them, we're putting all we've got into making them for the men who can.
We took the work seriously, but we didn't let it bind us. We realised the work that we had to do was important, but we also realised that we had individual personalities and we had a life to live.
It's good to see the finished job and to know you've had a hand in it. Our job cards go back to the office. They're one record of our night's work. And here's the other. You can take it from me, we're pretty tired at the end of a 10-hour shift. But we're proud of the work we're doing.
Well, how's night shift? Oh, it's funny. We started yesterday, we finished today, and we're coming back again today.
It was happy days. Really happy, yeah.
Good night, beautiful.
Good night. You mean good morning.
Here, aren't you nice? Oh, right, right.
Very good. Well done. Well done. Bravo. Fantastic.